Three, two, one.
How you doing today? My name is Jamal Dante Tompkins, and I am actually at the present time we live in North Carolina, and this is my husband.
Dante Tompkins. I'm Jamal Tompkins. I live in North Carolina.
All right. So thank you guys so much for coming on to the Stephanie Stevens Show and educating us here at Pronoun TV about your story. I just want to say, what are your ages?
Okay, at the present time, I'm actually at the present time.
How old are you now?
I'm actually 50 years old. I'll be 51 in November.
Okay.
I am 25 years old. I'll be 26 on August 20th.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming on to the show. And I just want to say happy Pride Month. And thank you for sharing your story with us here. And hopefully we can educate others and show people and show the world that we're just like everybody else. And regardless of who we sleep with or who we marry or who we love, we are just human beings trying to live and exist and be happy on this planet.
That's right. Exactly.
So, and it's my job as just a human being is to reach out to other people so they can share their stories, because I've met a lot of people. I've traveled all over this world with some of the best drag queens, impersonators, cross-dressers, or whatever the pronoun is that they go under. And life is rather interesting. And this is what's missing from it. From the gay community, not really telling their stories to each other. That can make a difference. Instead of telling the government and the politicians and to these hosts and to these celebrities that just sort of, okay, 20 minutes, we'll give them a 20-minute interview, but the next thing you know, you don't hear anything from them and they've done nothing for our community. So it's best that we talk to each other and see how we can figure things out.
Right.
Now, we're gonna get started off. How did you guys meet?
Actually, we met we moved from Pittsburgh here, North Carolina, but we met in Pittsburgh where we used to live, and actually we kept passing, always on the Pat bus. It's called Pat Bus Transit in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Then after that, it was just gradually through Facebook, Instagram, never hooked up, never talked. One day his birthday came, and at the time I was actually dancing in a club called Images. So I was actually the best dancer, stripper, whatever in Images. Then one day, I ain't gonna lie, highly intoxicated. I hear all this roaring. Somebody's over there tearing it up. And I'm like, wait a minute, now you come up in this bar, I know I'm the one tearing it up. Yes, I look over, it was actually my husband. So I'm looking like, wow, that energy. So it actually was his birthday. And I didn't know, like he was down there for his birthday, having a good time, whatever else. So I was always the type of person, if I see somebody that's, I just run. So I ran over and our bodies just locked, the chemistry, we just started dancing, you know what I mean? And I'm talking, it was a fast song. Like when I say that, you would have thought that we rehearsed the dancing, like we instantly matched, you know what I mean? Then after that, we just talked or whatever else. And he was like, you know what, we see each other like passing through the bus or whatever else. So I was like, well, here you go. I got to go to work in the morning. I got to get home if I get too intoxicated. Gave him some money, some drinks or whatever, for some drinks and stuff. And all I remember, I got a phone call like the next day. He's like, you thought I wasn't gonna call? I said, no. So we talked on the phone for like about a month, a whole month. We just talked and we video chatted.
Oh my God.
And we video chatted. We fell asleep on video chat. He go to work, I go to work. We come out and we just video chat and video chat. So one day he was like, well, I'm just ready to come around. So he came around. And we had a bottle, it was a little bit in there. I thought that's not going to be enough. I went on vacation for 2 weeks. I said, that's not going to be enough. And I had just got a house in Pittsburgh. So I was like, that's not going to be enough, So went to the store, left from there, but I gave him a key. He's like, this key's mine. I said, yeah, this key's yours. I said, I ain't dealing with nobody. I said, I'm not like the rest of these guys. I said, you need a key so you don't be standing out there, And after that, we just started dating. He has an old soul. Then we started doing karaoke together. Like we also sang together. We picked different songs. At our wedding, we sung. But needless to say that we was able to show each other, something that I hadn't even got. And I'm not saying I'm 50 because I wasn't 50 then, you know what I'm saying? I was actually like about 46 or somewhere around there, 46, 40, 45, 46.
So how long
And
you guys been together?
huh?
How
We
long you guys
actually
been
been
together?
together about 4 years.
Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
Well, we dated and was friends for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Then I suggested something because I had been through stuff, he'd been through stuff. We went through counseling because I went through counseling, you know what I mean? And it was beautiful, you know what I'm saying? I forgot what was the name of the place, but we went, remember that club downtown? And you probably know about it, but it's with the L, you know, but it was, oh my God, it's gonna kill me.
Can
But
I
anyway,
just,
to make
not to interrupt you, but I wanted to,
mm,
I want the show to tie together with your story because you're doing really well now. And
mm,
I want to ask you a couple of quick questions. Were you
yeah.
hetero- were you gay at the time, and were you both gay, out and about gay men?
And yes, yes. I am a father of 9 kids, though.
You're a
And I
father
was
of
married,
9 kids.
yeah. I have
Oh
6 girls.
God,
Yes, yes.
that's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, I was married, you know, to a female, you know, actually, we were best friends. We planned it. She know about my life, I know about hers. We just wanted some kids. You know what I mean? So our
Okay.
kids ain't a mistake, you know, this and that,
Mhm.
you know. Needless to say that I knew, you know, and I ain't gonna lie, I had been through a lot of hard relationships or whatever else. And I ain't gonna lie, you know, when me and him were talking, I was like, do you think this is gonna work? Is you okay with the age? Because he didn't believe my age. No one believes my age, you know what I mean? And he was like, you're what? And I ain't gonna lie, I'm actually, because your mom is like, his mom's like 54. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
see, I don't think there's a problem with your
well,
age and
we
his age.
just,
I don't think so. I mean, as long as he's mature enough to understand what he's getting
and he does.
into. Where I find the issue for me is the fact that he's a lot younger than yourself. And
Mm,
you have, like you said, you guys went to counseling to probably deal with your relationship and other issues that you may have. But
mm.
for me, the hurdle would have been the 9 children.
No,
Regardless of how good the sex was and the connection between the two of you, 9 children is a lot.
and I'm
And
gonna
for
tell you,
a young, and 1 minute, and for
I'm sorry.
a young person of herself, yeah. Do you want me to call you him, her? How do you identify?
We both
Okay,
go. We,
okay.
mhm.
Now, when you as a young person and you saw, even though he and his ex-wife gets along well and the children, the fact that you know in the back of your mind he's 50, that means that one of the children are close to your age.
A lot of them.
Okay, so
Yeah.
this, you understand where I'm going with this,
No,
right?
I understand exactly where you're going from. And you
Okay.
would not, you would not, and I'm glad that you asked that because a lot of people don't, you know what I mean? Um, he actually closer to my kids than I am.
Oh, okay.
They call him when they don't want to speak to me, they speak to him. They deal with him more than me because I'm stern. You know, I ain't listening to nothing. What I said is what I said, and I'm done. You better go over there. You know what I mean? Until they take
Mhm.
him off. Now he does have another side, but he has more of. I don't have a tolerance for all that bullcrap. If I feel like when you're going through something, you go through it, you get it, you know, you got to pray it out. You know what I mean? You got to fight it out. Sometimes, you know, like, you know, it can't always be handed to you on a silver platter. You know what I'm saying? You know, and
Mhm.
our marriage actually didn't come easy. Like we had some, you know, running track and the little hurdles you jump over. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'll tell you something, you know what was beautiful? We jumped over them together. We didn't take ownership like, well, I did this, you did that, da, 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 da. I'm not gonna lie, we are not victims of cheating. Neither one of us has never cheated. We're not swingers. We're not doing that, and we don't do threesomes. And that was something that I wanted to show the community that you know what, this ain't hubby. This is a husband. Hubby to me means you have a mini hubbies. Every time I turn around, people got.
Mhm.
I like to judge, but if that's what you do, we are here to represent the key standards of marriage in the same sex and uplift them, hold them. Any other questions you want? I just was trying to
Okay.
give total. Mhm.
I understand. It makes perfectly great sense. Good sense to me. Now, Dante, it's you, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's Dante. Now, Dante, let me ask you this. Now, when you met this man, and you was all up in the club, doing your thing, dropping it like it was hot and tearing up the club,
Yes.
trying to do your thing. Now, what did you think of Jamal when you saw him come over there and start dancing with you?
I was actually nervous. Like I kept pushing him away. I was scared. I'm like, you ain't get. Oh no, you ain't getting with. No, you wasn't trying to burn me. So I'm like, so I was like, hold on. I had to really look at him, and I'm like, You think you like we? I felt scared, but in my eyes, he looked at he's a beautiful man. Like I was scared, but at the same time my heart was attached to his, but
Mhm.
I didn't know how to like come out with it. So I'm like,
He
well,
making me sweat.
so I'm like, well, so how, like, I lied to him and told him, I said, well, my sister said that she wants your number.
Oh.
I really wanted it, but I didn't know how to say it from myself. So
Mhm.
every time I saw him, I was scared to ask for his number. I used to be like, well, she wants your number. But it was me who wanted his
Then
number.
you said, oh yeah, my sister said I should
Yeah,
get
I
your
was
number.
like,
said, I know
my
it all
sister
the time.
said she wants your number.
So were you guys in a gay club or just an open club?
We was
Where
at
everybody.
a gay bar.
At that,
Oh,
yeah.
now, one quick question I want to ask you, Dante. What did you think? Now, I can tell that the chemistry between the two of you are really good. I can see that. I can see that energy and that light. Two questions I want to ask that I think our audience would be really interested in hearing about. What did you think after your first encounter with Jamal? How did you feel? Did you think, I think there's something different here than the usual gay hookups? You know how we do things, and it just, and we walking out of people's place in the early morning in the bright sunlight and the walk of shame, or what they call it. Now,
Right.
how did you feel after your first night? You don't have to get intimate, but just tell us, what did you feel after you and Jamal had, let's just say, consummated your marriage?
Well, the first time, like, I was scared. I felt scared because I've been hurt so many times, so I wasn't just going like just zoom right into something.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like I felt free, and the way how he made me feel, it was like I don't want to jump into something. I want to feel like I don't want to be hurt by anybody no more.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times I was, but I had to realize, I had to open up my eyes and say, he's not going to hurt me.
Okay. Now, one other quick question. Like I said, I see the chemistry between the two of you. Now, What did you think when Jamal told you he had 9 children?
When he told me that, it made me feel a type of way because I tried to have a child. My baby died. So, and I didn't think that he really had any kids. I thought it was just him. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I loved him for anything. Like I love his kid, but it hurted me, but I had to live through it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I don't want to get into we'll do that in another segment of the show when we actually get the program on on what we're trying to work on. We'll come back to you down the road where maybe we'll bring you in and we'll try to see if we can talk to the family. Right now, we're just getting the connection. Now, let's talk about pride. Let's talk about pride. Now, Jamal, you
Yes.
you with a family of 9 children. Do any of your children identify as gay, bisexual, or pansexual, or whatever?
You talking about how do they label me?
No. Right now, any of your children that you have, do they identify in any way other than heterosexual?
Yes. I have kids that are into the lifestyle, whatever else. Are
Okay.
they fully comfortable with it yet? Under confidentiality, they're not comfortable with it, but we have talked.
Okay, wonderful. Now, Dante, you and Jamal, what are you looking? Have you guys already had your Pride Parade?
No, we're actually, like I said, we're new to North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's
So
like,
Pride is coming up there.
okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So to be truthful, I was talking to somebody at work. They supposed to be like getting me some details because we're networking, trying to find out. Now Pittsburgh, I was affiliated with more of like knowing what was going on because we had lived there and we was there for so long.
Mhm.
So like we're trying to find out things. And see, I like to try to find things about the events. The events is what captures me. And then I like to actually, I want to know, do people know what Pride is really about? You know what I mean?
Well, this is
And
this is something that's
my
been a big.
opinion, my opinion,
Mhm.
I think that they do. I don't believe, and it's just my opinion, and sometimes some people like what I got to say, and then sometimes they don't like what I got to say. You know what I mean? Because I just don't think everybody when they show up is for pride. You know what I mean? That day, yes, it's ours, but do you know what pride stands for? It's our rights. It's everything. You know what I'm saying? It's so that we can be who we are. It's so that we can stand on who we are and keep it there and get it ready for the up and coming generations of the females, of the guys or whatever else. And so they can show and exploit who they are. It's not for hooking up and this, not all of that. I mean, I don't, if you find you somebody good, but my thing is, I think that everybody should have something ready for pride. I mean, I thank God for pride, you know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
really do.
Now, not to cut you off. Now, I want to just talk about something. You, Jamal, you guys have a fascinating story that could actually be a television documentary. But right now, I want to just now since we're talking about pride, and Dante, you're much younger than Jamal, even though he looks very young. I would have never guessed you were 50 years old. Now, I know as young people, do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, Dante?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you don't have to go in total details. What do you think of the show? Now, before you tell me what you think of the show, you know the old school drag. Remember what you're used to seeing compared to what RuPaul is now doing. What do you think?
Well, see, sometimes when I watch it, sometimes I want to go in the mirror and try to make myself look. And I never knew, I like my age, I I really didn't know what pride really was. That was like until I had to go to it and really open up my eyes and be like, oh, this is what it's about. And I left it because it made me feel like, okay, well, I could just be myself then. It's that
Mhm.
yes, it took me a minute to understand what I really wanted to be.
Mhm.
And it made me feel good. Like I never like being this type of way. It I love seeing drag now because I think they is so beautiful the way how they
Mhm.
look. And every time I watch it, it makes me smile. I
Mhm.
love it.
Now, I'm going to ask you guys something now that I think has been the topic on a lot of TikTok, I see this a lot coming from gay men who are seeking relationships within the gay community. And this masculinity and this feminine thing keeps coming up. And it's the gay men saying to other gay men, you don't want me because I'm feminine or I'm chubby, or it's, you know, or I'm too masculine, or I have a beard, or you think that I'm old, or these things keep coming up in the gay community. Now, neither one of you look unappealing to me. So whether you're masculine or feminine, I mean, I have a Russian husband, so you can just imagine. I don't want to talk about him, but
Yeah.
because he doesn't say much, but he's good at keeping me together. So
Right.
now, what do you think about the masculine? Because when you look at Dante, he's a little bit more, you know, feminine than
Mhm.
you are, Jamal. I mean, from the way you guys look. Now, that's not what plays into your relationship, is it?
No. We go back
Masculine and feminine.
like when people ask us, like, because they want to make sure that, like, you want to be make sure it's like, what do y'all consider, like, as far as gender, you know what I mean? We both still
Mhm.
to each other. We're both men. We made up a day, husband and husband day. But people do mistake it, and they be like, when they talk to them, they be like, it just come out. They be like, oh yeah, and her, and they be like, well, wait a minute. He'd be like, well, it doesn't bother me or whatever else. But he also lets them know that he don't like go by that. But if, like you said, he don't get mad or he don't feel intimidated. Now, if you're trying to push that description and being ignorant, respectful, oh, he'll let you know. He'll be like, listen, I'm not a girl. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, so but we don't got no problem. So who wants to be? We love people like that. We got friends like that. But when you try to put a label on us, no, I do know that we both have agreed that we're both men or whatever else. Yes, he knows he's a feminine once. But yes, do I have my feminine days? Every day is not a hard masculine day. Trust me.
Like I wear hoop earrings.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
yeah,
You
he
know,
wear.
okay. Now I want to let's shift gears here. I'm just a few more questions. Thank you. You guys, this is
Mhm.
amazing. This
Yeah,
is
go.
amazing. I want to talk about when you had the wedding, when the family showed up, and you know there were some family members there because you know our people. Regardless of how much they say that they, go to church and they're open-minded and they're liberal, we know how our people are. When they showed up at the wedding, you don't have to say who, but did you feel like some of them shouldn't have come?
No, well, we actually did our wedding a little bit different. Uh, it was all over Facebook, but it his the wedding was nice for us, but it also
Mhm.
was a hurt situation because I had to.
You don't have to be personal
No,
with it. Just,
he only had one family member
mhm.
and one friend who wanted to come because at the time they just didn't because of my age, or they felt like so I'll go there. And so the other, like, 50 or so people, whatever else, actually people found out we were getting married and they were add-ons. And like my mom, she was there, my family was there, my kids was there, and this and this and that. But I'm gonna tell you something, they held them together, but I'm not him. I only hold him, and I know how he really felt. Like, oh, our wedding was off the chain, though. You know what I'm saying?
Wonderful. Well, congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
And
you. It was
now,
off the.
I don't want to dig too deep into it because I can
You're
see
good.
that
You're good.
it has an interesting background, and that we'll use that for another time.
Mhm.
Now, let's talk about the pandemic and you two during the pandemic. Now, as you know, most couples are usually before the pandemic, the kids will be at school, you'll be at work, Dante would be at work, and so and so. And now during the pandemic, everybody is in the house. You can only cook so much, you can only watch so much Netflix, and you can only show so much support when very little money is coming into the house. You do love each other, but now you're in each other's way. The kids are in your way. The fact that, life is general, all this information is coming in. And how did you guys fare doing that?
Well, for me, I worked, and at the time it was just the kids is actually in Pittsburgh. We're actually here by ourselves, basically.
Oh, okay.
There was one a sister that I call sister that we had lived with when we got here. She was from Pittsburgh, and when she moved here, we had came for our honeymoon. She said, "Well, come and try it out," and then we wound up moving here. We loved it. So other than that, we actually don't have no other like real family or anything like that here. And the pandemic really was hard because we're just starting out. We really just got our own we got a 3-bedroom trailer. And
Mhm.
we networked, but it was hard. It was hard because, we didn't have hardly no ID. Like we were still trying to get the ID for North Carolina, get all.
Mhm.
When I signed up, mine expired when I got it. So when I signed up, it took me 3 months to even, get ID. And at first, like the job didn't even want to hire me. You know what I mean? Because I was a department store manager for McDonald's at the time, and I was also help supervisor 8 stores for the scores of McDonald's for like the voice. I was the voice supervisor for that. The district.
Mhm.
And yes, it was hard because some of them didn't want to meet with me, or it was like, I had lost 2 people in my family, and I had to see the funeral to COVID. I lost 2 aunts to COVID. You know what I'm saying? I almost lost one of my children to COVID. So, you know, um,
Well,
but it was tight. It was
I'm glad that you guys, have picked up and you've come to an understanding that you like the place that you live in. That's a great start in anybody's life. If you like the place you live in, you can make it work.
mhm.
And I've learned that. I'm from Orlando, Florida, but I live in Canada. And
Oh, okay.
I'm married to a Russian. Can you imagine what we I mean, our life is good, but there's a lot of challenges along the way because of the business. And for me, it it goes back and forth, love and business. And you know how that is. Now,
Right,
I
exactly.
just want to say thank you guys so much for sharing your story with us here today. This is fascinating. And Dante, you really are a young, inspirational person. The fact that you love Jamal, I can see that. And that's something you don't see too often. And I can see that Jamal is trying to support everyone. And I can feel the weight on him. But the fact that you guys are in a better space now, you have a place to live, a roof over your head, and a start and a dream, and you guys are going to try to make it work. And the fact that Jamal, most of your kids are adults or around that age, they can take care of themselves, and they don't really need their daddy around unless there's something really happening. And from their weddings and their graduations and their soccer teams and these soccer ball things and all this kind of stuff that they do and want you involved in. And the fact that they've accepted Dante, this is an amazing thing. And as a Black gay couple, I don't like saying gay couple. I just like just saying a Black couple. And the fact that you are of the same sex and you are trying to do the right thing by each other, this is something that we don't see too often. And we want to just say thank you for sharing your story with us here. And I'm sure down the road, Jamal, you really should look into a documentary, making a documentary of your lives. You might have something there that could really benefit you and Dante and the family's life. You should
And
look
that's so
into
funny.
that.
I've thought of that. I would
Okay.
just somebody to
I just want to leave you with that thought. And I
thank you.
wanted to say thank you. Now, to Jamal and Dante Tompkins, they're a married couple, a married Black couple from North Carolina, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Fayetteville, North
Their
Carolina.
life. This is Pride Month, and we just wanted to have them on the show this month to say happy Pride to you guys. Take care of yourselves.
Yes.
Stay blessed, my friends. And you know what? Your story was fascinating. Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you. Tai Tai.